Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be doing a comparison between two designer totes, one being the infamous Louis Vuitton Neverfull and the other being a very new addition to my collection, which is the Fauré Le Page Daily Battle tote. So the Louis Vuitton Neverfull is in the size MM, which is the medium size, which is probably the most popular size, and the Daily Battle tote is in the size 37, which is the second to the largest. So I'm sure a lot of you are already really familiar with the Louis Vuitton Neverfull bag, so that does not need any introduction. But with the Fauré Le Page Daily Battle tote, I feel like it's become a little bit more popular and known lately. I don't know, maybe it's just me. I didn't really know about this brand until I saw this exact bag on my sales associate from Cartier Odd. Yeah, she was wearing this on her break when she was returning from her break, and that's how I knew about this bag. And I asked her, what bag is it? I absolutely love it. And her being French, she told me that this is a very well-respected brand back in France. And after that, I started doing a lot of research on this bag on YouTube, which is my favorite place for researching a new handbag or new item or even, anything really. It is my go-to place to find out answers. But anyway, while I was doing the research, I realized that a lot of luxury YouTubers actually had this bag and I never really noticed it. So I definitely say that it is a little bit more niche, so it's not as mainstream, but for those who love luxury, this is definitely a really nice brand to add to your collection. So before we get into the actual comparison, I'm gonna give you a quick first impression of this bag. I've had this bag for about 2 months now, but I've used it pretty much daily because this is currently my work bag. And since starting YouTube, my laptop comes with me everywhere. So this has been really, really great. Even on weekends, even if I'm using a mini bag, I'll have this bag in my car with my laptop in it in case I get 2 minutes to edit my videos. I haven't had it long enough to give you a full-blown review, but I feel like I've used it enough to give you a good first impression. I can just say I've been absolutely loving this bag. It is a really good size for me. It's slightly larger than the Neverfull and is a little bit softer, so I've been loving the comfort of wearing this bag. It just molds around my body so comfortably. It carries everything that I need, and I've just been loving how understated this bag is. Not everyone knows that this is a designer sort of price handbag unless you're really into handbags and you recognize the brand. I mean, I didn't even know this brand when I saw it on Odd. So it does feel a little bit special that not everyone is really into this brand yet. That can change very soon because I can tell you that this bag is amazing and maybe everyone will get onto it. And the other day I went onto the website to check out the pochettes, which are on my wish list if you didn't know about it. They have a whole video series on how these bags are made, and the craftsmanship is amazing to watch. So they show you the stages of making one of these bags, from the silk screening of the different colors in stages. So each of the colors that you see in this bag, by the way, this color is the Paris blue color. Yeah, so each color gets silk screened separately in stages, and then they show you how they cut the canvas, stitch it together, put the leather bits onto the canvas. I mean, it's just incredible. So I'll leave a link to their website down below, but it is amazing to see how these bags are made. And I really feel like the quality is there when it comes to the making of this bag. The other thing that I wanted to mention is the color. The Daily Battle tote comes in so many different colors, so I did have a difficult time choosing which color to go for. But because I wear jeans a lot and black and white outfits a lot, I thought the blue might go really well because it is a more casual bag, and I literally haven't come across one outfit that didn't go with this bag. So this navy blue color seems to go really well with a lot of things, and the yellow accents I think break up the blue. So it's a very royal looking color, and I've just been loving the color and just everything about it. So I'm going to be comparing these two totes in terms of 10 different aspects. Firstly, I'm going to talk about the different sizes, different materials and colors that they come in that you can choose from. Secondly, we're going to compare sizes. Thirdly, we're going to compare their shapes. Fourth, we're going to compare the canvases themselves. Fifth, we're going to look at the straps. Sixth, we're going to compare the exterior details. Then we're going to compare the interior details. Eighth, the accessories they come with. 9, recognizability. And finally, durability and wear and tear. Although it won't be a fair comparison because I've had the Neverfull for much, much longer. So I hope you find this video helpful. And if you have any questions about either of these bags, do let me know in the comments below and I'll get back to you. Oh, before we get into those 10 things, I'm gonna just mention their prices. They're quite similar in terms of price at the moment. With the Louis Vuitton Neverfull, it retails for 2,010 Australian dollars. And with the Fauré Le Page Daily Tote, it retails for 890 euros. So technically the Daily Battle is a little bit cheaper because when you convert 890 euros, it's about 1,500 Australian dollars. But shipping is quite hefty on this. I paid 85 euros for shipping to Australia, and I'm sure it's quite similar if you are out of Europe. So if you're from the States or anything, you'll probably pay around there. And also with the Neverfull, included in the price is the actual pochette, whereas with the Daily Battle, you do need to purchase the pochette separately, which I haven't done yet, but I'm really tempted to. Yeah, so all in all, the prices are quite similar, I'd say. So first, let's talk about the sizes and the colors and canvases that they come in. So firstly, with the Neverfull, it comes in 3 different sizes. The PM, which is actually quite small, the MM, which is this one, and the GM, which is humongous. I do feel like the sizes that the Fauré Le Page Daily Battle Tote comes in are slightly better. I do like their sizing better. So the Daily Battle Tote comes in 4 different sizes. So it comes in the size 27, and the number refers to the length of the base of the bag in centimeters. And then it comes in the 32 and the 37, which is this one, and the largest is 42. So the 42 would be comparable to the size of the Neverfull GM, and the smaller size, which is the 27, will be probably the most comparable to the size PM. The reason I like the sizing of the Daily Battle better is because you have 2 options when it comes to the medium size range. So like I said before, the medium sized totes are usually the most popular. As you guys know, the Neverfull PM and the GM aren't as popular. I mean, depends on what you're using the bag for, but for the majority of the population, I feel like the medium sizes are more popular. While the Neverfull only comes in the MM, and sometimes depending on your height and size, you may find the Neverfull MM slightly too boxy and big for your stature, or conversely, you may find it a little bit too small, but the GM's just a little bit too big. Whereas with the Daily Battle Tote, if you are slightly on the more petite side and you don't want to carry your whole hip around with you, then you can always opt for the size 32. Or if you are slightly on the taller side and you do like a tote that fits a lot, but you don't want to go as big as the Louis Vuitton Neverfull GM, then you can always opt for the size 37, which is this one. I'm not very tall. I'm only 5'4", 164 centimeters tall, but the reason I opted for the size 37 is because at the time I thought about upgrading my laptop to a 15-inch, and that didn't happen because Apple came out with the 16-inch, and that's just way too big. So I'm still sitting on that thought. Haven't upgraded my laptop yet. But yeah, I wanted to be able to fit a 15-inch laptop, and when I did the measurements, this will just fit the 15-inch laptop. So that was the only reason I opted for the larger size out of the 2 medium sizes. In terms of the color and the canvas variations, they're both pretty good. So the Neverfull comes in all 3 Louis Vuitton canvases, the monogram Damier Ebene, which is this one, and the Damier Azure, and it comes in epi leather and some limited edition materials as well. With the Daily Battle Tote, they all come in the exact same pattern of canvas, but you can find about 8 or 9 different colors from memory. There's a burgundy, green, black, gray, even pale pink. Yeah, so there are lots of different colors that you can choose from when it comes to the Daily Battle, but you don't get different variations of the canvas. The canvas pattern will be all the same. Next, I'm going to compare their sizes, and I'm actually going to compare the shapes at the same time. So overall, when you look at the bag side by side, the Daily Battle does look a little bit bigger, and if you do go for the size 32, it'll be a little bit smaller than the Neverfull MM. But even the size 37 doesn't look that big when you actually wear it, because if you compare the widths of them, you can see that the Neverfull is much wider than the Daily Battle, and the Daily Battle is a little bit thinner. So when you wear it, it doesn't actually look that boxy, although technically the Daily Battle 37 is a larger size. And I'll give you some measurements. The Neverfull, the base length is 31.5 centimeters, whereas the Daily Battle is actually obviously 37 centimeters, so much longer on the base. And then with the width, I'm just going to measure that because it wasn't on the website. I've got a tape measure here. The base width of the Daily Battle is 15 centimeters, whereas the base width of the Neverfull is 16 centimeters. I know it's only 1 centimeter difference, but it does make a difference to the look of the bags when you wear them. And then the height is pretty similar. The Daily Battle is probably slightly taller. And then when you have a look at the shapes of them, the Neverfull tapers up a lot more than the Daily Battle. So the Daily Battle tapers slightly up, so the top part of the tote is a little bit wider than the bottom, but it's not as dramatic. Whereas if you have a look at the Neverfull, it tapers way up. So if you compare the lengths of the bags up the top, they're actually pretty much the same. So as you can see, both bags have pretty much the same length at the top. And I do have to say, I didn't really notice how tapered the Louis Vuitton Neverfull was until I started using the Daily Battle. And I do have to say, I do prefer the shape of the Daily Battle. It's just less tapered, so it looks a little bit less trapezoidal, which is my personal preference. The other thing I wanted to mention about the width of the bags, like I said, although they are only 1 centimeter apart in width, when you wear it, it does make a huge difference. So let me just quickly show you what both bags look when I wear them on the shoulder. So first, if you have a look at the Neverfull, it does still look really comfortable, but you can see where the base of the bag is. It does stick out quite a bit from my body. And then this is the Daily Battle. So if you have a look at this one, you can kind of see that the bag is larger, but not dramatically. And if you have a look at the front, see how it kind of lies next to your body a lot better. It just stays closer to your body. So when you're out and about, you don't feel like you're carrying such a bulky bag. So I do actually prefer the Daily Battle. Next up, I'm going to compare the canvases. So the Louis Vuitton canvas is a lot stiffer, a lot more structured. The bag actually stands up on its own quite well. So if you are someone who likes more structured bags, although totes aren't the most structured bags, but at least it stands on its own. And if you are someone who likes their bags upright and standing up on their own, then definitely you'll prefer the Neverfull. And the canvas just feels thicker as well. So that is one thing that I've noticed. And then with the Fauré Le Page canvas, as you can probably already gather from looking at it on screen, it is much thinner canvas. It is softer and it's just more pliable. So the bag won't stand on its own. When I just hold the base of it, or when you put it on the floor or on a table, it'll just do that. So it is very, very soft, but I hear that it is still stiffer than the Goyard St. Louis tote canvas. So yeah, that is one thing to note. I did have to get used to it. So the softer and thinner canvas is a pro and a con. I do find it more comfortable, the softer canvas, when I wear it, because it molds to my body really well and I can literally just make it mold around my body perfectly. But it is also a con because when I put the bag down, it kind of becomes a bit of a mess and just flops down. So I have to kind of find the straps and sort of straighten the bag out and then wear it on my shoulder. But it's not a big deal. I do really enjoy the comfort of it molding around my body. The next point of comparison will be the straps. There are two main differences. The first difference is very obvious. If you have a look at the width of the straps, you can tell how much thicker the strap on the Fauré Le Page Daily Battle tote is compared to the width of the strap of the Neverfull. So the Neverfull straps, especially in the coated leather material, is known to be digging into your shoulders. If you do have sensitive skin, you may actually find the Neverfull straps to be quite uncomfortable and really digging into your shoulders. Whereas the Daily Battle tote, the shoulder straps are much thicker and that little bit of extra width makes it very comfortable to sit on your shoulders. I personally haven't found the straps to be digging into my shoulders at all. The next point of difference would be that the straps on the Daily Battle tote are actually adjustable. As you can see, there are multiple holes along the strap on the one side, and literally you can make it even into a top handle bag by making the straps really short, but it might look a bit funny because the strap will just go way down. And yeah, I've got mine set on the 5th longest hole setting, and this length works really well for me. And yeah, I see that as a massive pro because depending on your preference and your build, you can make the straps longer or shorter. Now with the Neverfull, the shoulder straps aren't adjustable, so it's just the one length setting, but I do find this length quite good. It works really well for me, and I think it does for most people. Unless you're super tall, then it might just look really short on you, but other than that, I do find that the strap drop is quite good on most people. Next, we're going to compare the exterior features. The Neverfull has a very simple structure, just the plain canvas on either side, front and back. and then you do have these drawstrings on the sides, and this allows the bag to be cinched in, so you can change the shape of the bag and make it a little bit smaller. So if you do want to make it into a smaller bag, you can cinch in the side. If you cinch in both sides, it becomes more of a square looking bag. So that is a very recognizable feature of the Neverfull. Otherwise, pretty simple. With the Daily Battle, it doesn't have the side drawstrings for cinching in, but because it is a less trapezoidal shape, I don't think it really needs it. Otherwise, it is also a very similar, simple sort of design. So you've just got the canvas on either side, very simple and plain. But the one point of difference is these reinforced corners, so you can see the leather reinforcements on all four corners, and I actually really like that about the Daily Battle, and I think that's part of the reason why the wear and tear is known to be quite good on the Daily Battle tote, despite the canvas being a little bit thinner and flimsier than the Neverfull. But having said that, the canvas actually doesn't feel flimsier just because it is thinner. It actually feels softer and more pliable and more flexible rather than just thinner and less sort of sturdy. So yeah, definitely the reinforced corners are a really nice feature, so I do really like that. In terms of personalizing the bag on the exterior, the Louis Vuitton, you can do that by attaching different charms. I've got a luggage tag on mine to decorate it with, so that is really nice touch. With the Daily Battle tote, they do sell different charms that you can choose from to personalize your bag with. I just had to personalize it because I love personalizing, so I chose the letter E because that is the initial of my Korean name, which is my birth name. Yeah, so there are tons of different charms that you can choose from. You can actually also choose different leather tabs that the charm attaches to the bag via, so you can choose a yellow or any other color that you like. So both bags can be dressed up quite nicely and personalized as well. Next, we're going to compare the interior. So I'm going to talk about the Neverfull first. Oh, there's the pochette as well, which is another point of difference that we'll talk about in the next point. They're both similar in terms of the interior. There are a couple of minor differences, but for the most part, the interiors are quite similar. They both have the fabric lining. The Neverfull comes in different colors of the lining. Mine's just in that classic red, and they both have one interior compartment. In the case of the Neverfull, you can zip it up. So there is a secure zipped pocket there. Whereas in case of the Daily Battle tote, there is one interior pocket. Like I said, fabric lined as well. Yeah, so there is one interior pocket, but it doesn't have a zipper on it, so it's not the most secure pocket. So that may be a bit of a con to this bag. And on the Fauré Le Page, the interior pocket is a bit of a branding of the bag as well, because you see the actual emblem embossed into the leather there. So that is one point of difference. And then both bags actually have a D-ring on the interior. So this is a D-ring on the Fauré Le Page Daily Battle tote. And then the Louis Vuitton Neverfull also has a D-ring as well, as you can see just here. So the D-rings are really useful because they are open tote bags. You can actually attach a pouch via a clip onto the D-ring, or key pouches or anything, and inside of those attached pouches you can keep your items that you want to keep secure, like your wallet, card holder, phone, things like that. So I do find the D-rings really helpful. Next thing, we're going to talk about the pochettes as accessories to the bags. So the Neverfull actually comes with this pochette. It is a pretty thin pochette, doesn't fit that much, but you can still fit a card holder and a few items that you want to keep secure. So it is actually included when you purchase the bag, so you don't have to worry about purchasing a separate pochette. With the Daily Battle tote, they do have pochettes suitable for the tote, but you do have to buy them separately. But in saying that, the pochettes come in 3 different sizes, so a very small one, a medium one, and then a larger one. So it is a lot more customizable. You do need to pay a bit of extra, but you can choose the size you want to go with. So I am really thinking of getting the medium pochette to go inside of my Daily Battle, but the medium size does retail for 380 euros. So that is a bit of a difference in price. For now, I am actually using the Neverfull pochette inside of the Daily Battle, but I do love the matchy-matchy look between the pochettes. pochette and the bag, so it is definitely on my wish list. Next point we're going to discuss is the recognizability. I did briefly talk about this at the beginning of the video. The Neverfull, it is just so recognizable at this point. So it doesn't even have to be the monogram. I think most people can recognize the damier ebene print, damier azure, even the epi leather because of the iconic design and because of how popular this bag is. You literally see this bag a lot on the streets. Even when I was traveling in Europe, so many people had this bag on. So if you are going for a designer bag that is really recognizable, that's not really that subtle, then I guess the Neverfull is your cup of tea. But I have been loving the more understated luxury items. So with the Fauré Le Page, the canvas isn't nearly as recognizable as Louis Vuitton canvas patterns. So I do find the Daily Battle tote a lot more understated, and I really love that about the Daily Battle. You can obviously tell that it is made really well and it is really high quality bag, but it doesn't scream designer, especially when you carry it for work and traveling as well. I think it is really nice to have something that you know is really luxurious, but not everyone is necessarily going to be able to recognize it as a luxury handbag. So I've been really loving that about this bag. And then last but not least, let's compare the durability and the wear and tear of both bags. I don't have anything bad to say about both bags, but I have a feeling the Louis Vuitton Neverfull may be the winner because I've had this for almost 4 years and I was inspecting the bag to see any wear and tear and I couldn't see anything. It is still in a really good condition. I think people will believe me if I said to them this is a brand new bag. I tried really hard to look for anything. I mean, even the brass hardwares are really clean. Couldn't see any staining or scratches on them. The canvas doesn't have any wear and tear at all. I mean, if you can call this wear and tear, you can kind of see that there's a little bit of a smoothing around the corners, but I mean, it is very minimal. So I have to say, I've been very happy with how the Neverfull has been wearing. Whereas with the Fauré Le Page, I've only had it for about 2 months. To be fair, I've used it almost every day and I've put so much in it, much more than I've ever carried in the Neverfull in the 4 years that I've had it. So because it is a slightly larger bag with a slightly larger capacity, I do have to say that I've been feeling this bag a lot more than I ever did with the Neverfull. But I can see a little bit of wear on the leather piping on the corners of the bag. So I don't actually know if this is even going to show up on the camera, but I'm just going to show you on the piping there. There's a little bit of wear of the leather there. Might be a better one here. So I'm not sure whether you can see that my viewfinder is very small, so I can't really tell. There are a few minor scratches on the leather piping there. So yeah, I'm happy to report on the wear and tear of this particular bag in a year's time, or after I've used it for a little bit more. But so far that's all I can see, and I'm still very happy with it because I did bump into things with this a few times. That is the wear and tear so far. Oh, one more thing, I didn't mention it at the beginning of the video, but I think the other thing to consider between the two bags will be the resale value. We all know very well that the Louis Vuitton Neverfull has a fantastic resale value. Most of these Neverfull bags in canvas materials go for like maybe 10% off the retail price. So this bag currently retails for 2,010 Australian dollars, and on the resale market I see the bag listed for like 18 or 1900 Australian dollars. So yeah, resale value is really fantastic on this bag. And considering after you've owned the bag for a few years, the bag would have had a few price increases. So you may even make a profit on it by keeping it and reselling it later after using it tons as well. In my case, I picked this bag up when it was around the 1600 Australian dollar mark. And if I were to sell this bag today, I reckon I can get $1,700-$1,800 for it because of, what the market is showing me. Whereas with the Daily Battle tote, I don't think there's much data on fair resale value for this one, but I know that most luxury handbags, unless they are from Hermes, Chanel, or very classic designs from Louis Vuitton, most other brands don't do very well on the resale market. This is just generalization, but I do feel like if you are going for the safe option, in the case that it doesn't work out and when you try and resell it, then you'll definitely get more money back for the Louis Vuitton Neverfull. So that that was my comparison between the two beautiful totes. I love them both, but at the moment I'm using the Daily Battle tote a little bit more, so I might love it a little bit more, but it could also be because I'm in the honeymoon period with it. It's only 2 months old. If you have any other questions about either of these two totes, do leave them in the comments below. I'd love to answer any of your questions. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. As always, thank you so much for watching this video and spending some of your precious time with me today, and I can't wait to see you again soon in my next video. Bye guys!